It is
Tuesday, May 5th.
all right. We'll call it 8:59, and we'll call the special meeting of the Board of Supervisors to order. Jake.
Keisha Johnner.
Here.
Mark Ramey.
Here.
Steve McCombs.
Here.
Our agenda for the special meetings, now revised to 2 times a week for board action. Last week is continued discussion of county operations as a result of COVID-19. Is there a motion to approve?
I make motion we approve today's agenda.
Second.
McCombs.
Aye.
Ramey.
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
Very good. In open session, just a couple of things that I want to clarify to start. The first is, I think there was a little bit of confusion regarding a couple of emails that went out last week. First, regarding the closure of 3014 East Main, this site, to general public traffic. The purpose of that closure is now, with the opening up of various parts of Iowa, including Marion County. I had a discussion with our emergency management director, Jeff Anderson, and from a continuity of government perspective, we felt it was appropriate to limit public access to the 3014 building. Doesn't mean that county officers can't come out here and have discussions with the board or discussions with HR or discussions on any of those topics. We're just going to be a little more judicious about who enters the building and who doesn't. And it's very similar to what we're doing at East Elementary as well. So that email was probably a little overstated in terms of its intent. Secondly, we had an email go out about our furlough program. Want to make sure that everybody understands this. It doesn't mean that we're actively looking to furlough all county employees. This was a targeted furlough program looking at specific positions that, frankly, during this crisis, did not have a lot of work to do. We had several self-select when they were made aware of what the furlough program would be. And Keisha and Lisa, I think, did an excellent job walking those staff members through the financial implications of going on furloughs so that no county employee was financially harmed from a net income perspective. And in addition, they retained their full benefit packages. So the private sector has been having to do this, and we felt it appropriate if there were county offices that were not up to capacity in terms of workload as a result of COVID-19 to take that action. So anyway, I'm very confident in the work that Keisha and Lisa did. And I know financially our employees are probably in a better position, I think, for the most part. Keisha, is that accurate? And then from a benefit standpoint, they retain all their current benefits, and upon recall, we'll go right back to normal operations. So I wanted to make sure I clarified those 2 emails that went out, so there was no more confusion about that. Are there any questions on those 2 items? Anything from the folks on the phone?
Yeah, I just want to make it clear what Mark said. All the positions were not being looked at. It was just the ones that were very obvious and that stood out and that were brought to our attention. And to reiterate what he said, our intent was to make sure the employee was not harmed financially, and I believe that is the case.
Yep. All right, very good. So after that, are there any other items for open session? Keisha, Steve?
Do you have an update? Has anybody spoke with Michaela, seeing how, is she doing any appointments or anything like that? Do we know of?
I can tell you there's folks in the driver's license office as we speak, and there are people socially distancing themselves on the chairs outside the door. Those folks are all wearing masks. So I can tell you, since last Friday, I know, I don't want to speak for Michaela, there was a little bit of a hiccup on the DOT side statewide. So we had some appointments set up and unfortunately the state had a problem. So I think that was a little bit of a hiccup, but since then I'm not gonna say a constant flow of people because they're being very judicious about the number of appointments that are available, but they're certainly up and operating, and there are people getting their driver's licenses.
Okay, very good. Appreciate the update, Ed. Thank you. Thank you.
And Mark,
Yes, Jay.
so yesterday was the first day for in-person voting to start. And we had 5 people participate at the counter for in-person voting, one at a time. They went through the processes. So that began yesterday as well. Daryl is down there kind of monitoring the in and out of the building. And so it hasn't been a real issue from that standpoint, not too many people around or something like that at this point.
Okay.
But the process looks like it may work fairly efficient, don't you think, Jake? Or other than the volume of people?
I think it will work efficiently. If we start getting masses of people, we'll have to, maybe try and figure out how to make the lines longer or something outside. But at this point, those numbers are all coming in through the mail with the absentee ballot request forms, not the in-person voting. So I think at this point we definitely have a manageable situation.
But it was my understanding this morning in my talk with you that the mail was very high volume, and how we're gonna handle that.
We're just powering through it, and it's just taking extra time. 500 absentee requests on Friday, almost 900 on Saturday, and we didn't even get them all in yesterday, but we're gonna be over 800 yesterday, and that doesn't include today's mail. So we're well over 2,000 absentee ballot requests being processed at this current time.
Okay, very good. Very good. Thanks for the update, Jake. We appreciate it. So good. Yeah, and we'll follow up with Michaela Keisha on just how things are going too. Follow up with her directly. Good.
Okay.
Anything else for open meetings? Steve, any updates on VA fencing, anything like that?
I was out there yesterday, and I seen that they have the locate flags out, so I'm assuming that as soon as all that's done, I'm guessing if he has the material on hand, he will start the fence. I haven't heard from him personally,
Okay.
but I see the flags are out, so the process is still in place.
Still moving forward.
Yeah.
Good. And again, to reiterate, the reason for the fencing really is threefold. Number one is to begin to treat the area like really what it is. The Board of Supervisors, along with the City of Knoxville, partnered to secure this property, with the board being the lead on that. But it is a property that we have every intention of developing in some form or fashion. And we've got a group out there, Confluence, which is right now working on a master plan. Tough to do that when you've got the public walking around and driving through it. So they're doing surveying and things of that nature, obviously not on a rainy day like today. So we need to start clearing that site so we can have surveyors do that. Secondly, we'll start having our archaeological study. I know that he's been out there with his postal digger because I've seen him out there. But we need to make sure that those sites that he does dig are undisturbed. So we need to protect that. The third thing really comes down to the 2 buildings that we're working on the RFP for, 27 and 28. We're getting closer to having agreement between SHPO and Marion County on that. The state's been a little bit behind in terms of getting the RFP back to us in a final version, largely because of what's going on with COVID. So we should have that RFP back. I'll be able to talk with Aaron and Brian probably within the next week and a half. And really the only issue is they want us to put pictures of the buildings in the RFP from a marketing standpoint. And I said, that's not a big deal. We just need to get the final sign off from all parties. So we need to think about that. So we've got all that pre-development work going on. Now we've got Alliant going out there working on a gas project, and not being certain where the gas lines are. We don't need the public out there while they're doing that. And then the third thing is we've got a lot of debris to clear for trees, etc. And it gets hard for the guys to try to do that when the public is out there walking around. They don't want to have a tree fall on somebody and do that. So So we need to start thinking about it like that. There'll be more activity going on out there. So from a safety and liability perspective, we need to take that action. So Steve, thanks for heading that up and moving forward with that. Is there anything else?
I just
for
wanted
open?
to add that I know that there's been some conversation. Obviously a lot of activity at the VA going on, you know, like what we talked about, but it is being mowed. This is the third week. It's being mowed. It's being taken care of. So it's not gonna be like growing up in weeds and put up a fence and growing up in weeds. No. So things are happening.
Good, very good, thank you. Anything else for open? Anybody on the phone? Ed, Jake, anything you have for open? Okay, very good. Do we need any closed items? Kim, Jeff, anything to update on? Okay, all right. Seeing none, would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second,
Combs,
aye?
Ramey,
Aye,
Johnner,
Aye.
very good, we are adjourned, thank you.
thank you.
Mark, if you want to give me a call sometime.